Secrets, spies, and enemy territory, just a few of the twists and turns this Oscar-nominated film could take you on.
That's right. Movie reviewer Matt Perrone has more on one flick that could build a bridge to an Academy Award.
Welcome to the beginning of the end here at the Oscars Overview. That's right, we've reached day 5, which means it's the beginning of the second half of our Best Picture nominees reviews, leading up to the 88th Academy Awards airing right here on ABC Columbia this Sunday. We've reached another true story review in our path, and so what better than a movie directed by a well-known director and starring an equally well-known actor? So without any further ado, let's jump right into the espionage drama, Bridge of Spies. The year is 1957, and we're at the height of the Cold War. Both the United States and the Soviet Union have spies working to gather information in response to the lingering threat of nuclear war. Our film begins with one such Soviet spy, Rudolf Abel, played by Mark Rylance. We see him receiving information shortly before the FBI raids his home and takes him into custody, charged with espionage. Wanting to keep a solid front to the rest of the world, they want the accused to have a solid defense, so they bring in Jim Donovan, played by Tom Hanks, to represent him, much to Donovan's regret. He does a good job defending Abel, but without a truly fair trial, he is found guilty. Donovan manages to get the court to spare his life in case a trade is ever needed. At the same time, a U.S. air fleet is training on secret spy planes to gather photographic evidence of the things happening in the Soviet Union. On his first reconnaissance mission, pilot Francis Gary Powers is shot down and arrested in enemy territory. The CIA realizes that this man has secrets they don't want the Soviets to find out, and talks begin of an exchange. The CIA brings in Donovan to go broker the trade which is to occur in East Berlin. As the movie progresses, we see Donovan travel to East Berlin and witness some of the horrors going on at the newly built wall. Having to deal with both the Soviets and the Germans often leads to stalemate after stalemate, but being a seasoned attorney, Donovan knows how to play the game and can also pull a few tricks out of his sleeve. From watching the film, we see how tense situations were in that time period. We see the fear of the Americans of the Soviets and those supporting them, along with the other side of the coin. We wait in suspense to see if the deal actually gets completed or if everyone involved suddenly will cease to exist. So this was one of those films that I knew I should have seen in the theaters. Anytime you hear Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks' name together in a movie, you can be relatively certain that an Oscar nod may be coming. But alas, time did not allow, so I actually saw it for the first time last week. Everyone had already told me how good it was, and it's hard to find. Pretty much all of the Blu-rays are sold out all over town. So it came as no shock to me when I found it to be a very enjoyable film. Of course, the acting is fantastic, but what really gets you is how well the cast is able to portray the unease of that time period. As expected, the film drags a little during the setup, but you have to lay all the cards on the table before the action can commence. And as enjoyable, albeit suspenseful as it is, watching the action of the film play out, you have to wonder what it was like for the actual players while this was actually happening. I was also surprised that I had never read about this incident or any of the characters in the film. All in all, it's basically what you would expect from a Steven Spielberg-directed movie starring Tom Hanks. Definitely a must-see. Well, this has been your Oscars Overview. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for a Best Picture nominee that's a little out of this world. Back to you.
Thank you, Matt. Might be a good day to check out a movie. The weather outside not really as inviting.
That's right. When will the rain let up? Your answer next in your full forecast, live from Main and Gervais.